Welcome to the official Widgets and Digits stream. What we're going to do today is I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the basics of how to set up widgets and digits, how to play the base mode, and then we are going to set up for a full executive experience and run through that as well. So hopefully between this and the walkthrough videos that are out there, you should have a lot of the resources you can tap into so that when you play your first game, you know what you're doing and you can get right into making money. That's the fun part. Before we get started, let's introduce ourselves in case you don't know who we are. My name is Joe. I'm one of the members of Friendly Bee Game Company, and on the stream with me as well, I have Alex. Alex, you want to go ahead and say hey?
Heyo, I'm Alex. I am also one of the other members of the Friendly Bee Game Company, and we are here to demo widgets and digits for you all.
Sweet. All right, let's hop right into it so we can get to the meat and potatoes, which is the strategery. So what you should all be able to see in front of you is this is kind of a virtual setup of widgets and digits. I'm just going to quickly go over the different components. This is what you want it set up if you have 4 players. Two things to look out for. We have little calculators and note cards. This is only part of the virtual edition just to kind of help us manage the money and some of the handwriting because it's much harder to do that online. But everything else is part of the game, and this is pretty much how it would look if you were getting set up for a 4-player game. So first, let me talk about kind of the main overall setup. So in the center of the table here, you have your marketplace board. On the marketplace board, you're going to want to have your resources set up. There are little starting areas for the resources that are shown by these little star icons. So you're just going to go ahead and fill up each marketplace with its respective resource type by putting them on those little stars. So raw materials are these little black resources. They're going to go in the raw materials market. Parts are the red gears. They'll go in the parts market. And finished goods are these purple boxes. They will go in the finished goods market. One thing, they have this line in the markets that denotes the inventory levels, excuse me, for 2-player or 3+ player games. We're going to play a 2-player game, so you wouldn't use anything in this third column. So I'm going to go ahead and take all these resources off. If you were going to play a 2-player game, your setup is going to look something like this. All right. See if I can't. A little more efficient here. Great. So 2-player games, you don't use that third column. Okay. Down at the bottom here, you have the fiscal year tracker. This kind of measures the progress of the game. There are 4 quarters in the game. You should put the fiscal year tracker on Q1 to show that you're starting in the first quarter. Last part of the marketplace is this labor market. There's going to be cubes that show the workers. They're actually red cubes, not blue like in the virtual version. We are not going to be playing with worker wars rules in the first game mode or first game. So I'm going to go ahead and take all these cubes off. You won't need them if you play the basic edition. The other thing is you're going to have this first mover advantage elephant. This shows you who's going first. Just go ahead, keep it handy. We'll talk about how that gets distributed later. And then you're going to want to use the base card deck for classic mode, which is this kind of white back card deck with the gear icon. So just put that in the center and you can go ahead and deal out 3 cards. That's going to be the starting card market. Okay. You're also going to want to have piles of money. Keep them handy. You're going to need them to go ahead and buy things. Each player usually starts with 20 bucks of seed capital. In the virtual mode, we're just going to use these calculators instead so you can see everybody is starting with $20. Okay. For the player setup, everybody's getting a dweeb pad, which is just a sheet of the dweeb sheet. This is the back of the dweeb sheet, which kind of gives you a breakdown of how the turns work. On the front of the dweeb sheet is where you'll see the information like writing down the name of your company and your company slogan, and also where you will tally up your score at the end of the game. Okay. Last, you're going to have a player mat. This is where the magic really happens. This is where you do most of the action in the game. The top part of the player mat is what we're going to use in classic mode. And then the bottom part is really for worker wars. So we're not going to use it in this game mode. And you can just go ahead and ignore it for this first game. Okay. So with that being said, that's pretty much the summary of how you want to set up the game. It's going to look something like this. And without further ado, let's get into playing our first game. So, Widgets and Digits is a game about entrepreneurship. We are all here. We've got our own widget companies that we just founded, and our goal is to make as much money as we can by the end of the fiscal year. There are 4 quarters in the fiscal year, and we're going to play 1 round for each quarter. So it's actually a very quick game. You've got 4 turns to make as much money as possible. So we're going to definitely want to be very efficient with all our actions. But you can't be a successful CEO without a successful product. So the first part of Widgets and Digits is founding your company. You're going to use the front of your dweeb pad and you're going to go ahead and come up with a widget idea. Now, a widget can be anything real or imagined. You just have to think it could make you some money. All right. What you're going to need to do is name your widget, tell us what it does, and come up with a catchy widget slogan. And there are some stakes because whoever has the best widget idea gets the friendship of the first mover advantage elephant, and they're going to go first in the first quarter. Okay? So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take a minute. Alex and I are going to come up with some brilliant widgets, and we're going to see who's going first.
All right. Let's see who comes out on top.
All right. I didn't think about this at all previously, so I'm going to see how quickly I can be creative on the spot.
I mean, Widgets and Digits is great at making you come up with creative stuff on your feet. It's a great way to start the game.
All right. I think I have it. Okay, I think this one's actually kind of brilliant. Alex, let me
All right.
know when you have your idea.
I think we both more or less finished at the same time.
Awesome. Okay, so there is a house rule for coming up with your widget ideas, and it's whoever finishes writing it last has to actually read it first. Little time pressure to get the juices flowing. According to the stream, I beat you by like a second. So Alex, I'm gonna have you read it first.
All right. Well, today I have for you the snooze ruse. Are you tired of dozing off and people calling you out on it? Worry no more with the snooze ruse. This widget makes you look like you're wide awake as you enjoy a well-deserved nap. There's no losing with the snooze ruse.
I love it. I love that it's not about like feeling less tired, but it's about like getting away with sleeping, which is like way more fun. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's too much work to hack your body. Let's
Yeah.
just make sure that nobody can tell you're snoozing.
Do you have like something you're envisioning this would look like? I feel like I'm
I feel
imagining
like
just drawing eyes on people's like eyelids.
Yeah, that's gonna be like the light version of the snooze ruse. Like the premium version is gonna be like a hollow projector,
Uh,
but you can always have a sample version
I
with a marker.
I like it. You got the base product, the premium product. It's really coming together. Okay, this is great.
All right, what do you got?
All right, mine is the marketing mitt. It's a baseball glove that lets you catch great ideas from your brain and record them automatically. And our slogan is never miss a hit with the marketing mitt.
Ayo, that's a great slogan. I love the rhyme.
You gotta rhyme. Rhyming is great. But I think that your business model is looking a little bit stronger, and the first mover advantage elephant always prefers a strong business model. So you're gonna go ahead and win the first mover advantage elephant and go
All
first
right,
in
thank
the
you.
first quarter. All right, let me give a 2-minute explanation of how the game is played, and we'll hop right into it. So each quarter breaks down to basically 3 different stages. If you look at the back of your dweeb pad, you can see the stages. Kind of gives you some brief breakdown of how they work. So the first stage is the investing phase. Oh, by the way, the top part of the dweeb pad is this labor bidding section. That's all for worker wars, so you can just ignore it in classic mode games. It's only for one of the expansion games. So in a classic mode games, you're just doing the individual turn section. You have 3 phases. You've got investing, operations, and upkeep. So investing is real simple. It's when you buy upgrades for your process and upgrades in resources so that you can make more money. The operations phase is you actually run this process. It produces widgets, which are basically just money and extra resources that you could sell for money. And then the last phase is the upkeep phase. And this is where you have to pay labor and storage. So it's pretty simple. It's buy stuff, make money, pay fees. Okay. So to actually explain a little better, I'm going to start with the operations phase. So how does this widget process actually run? There's 4 steps to making a widget. starts in the sourcing phase where you get raw materials for free. Then it goes to the fabrication phase where raw materials are turned into parts. In assembly, parts are assembled into finished goods. And in the retail phase, finished goods are branded as your completed widget and they're sold at market for 20 bucks each. So if you look at the bottom of each of these stages, you actually see the symbols that correspond with those stages. So sourcing starts out at baseline. It gives you one raw material for free. So one little raw material resource. Okay. Then the fabrication stage requires raw materials. So if you takes that raw material you got for free and it turns it into a part. And then assembly takes that part, turns it into a finished good. And so the number of the symbols tells you how much of each quantity is actually happening. So one raw material means one raw material for free. Fabrication has one on the left side. It means it requires one raw material. If you have a raw material, then it turns it into a part. And then assembly requires parts. If you have a part, turns it into a finished good. And retail requires finished goods, and it turns them into straight up 20 bucks. Okay. So what this means is that if you do absolutely nothing at baseline, you're getting a raw material. It's going all the way through this process, and you just get 20 bucks for free. So if you do absolutely nothing, you're going to make 20 bucks a turn. Awesome. But if you're going to, at baseline, make 20 bucks a turn, as good CEOs, we're probably wondering, how do we make even more money? And that's where the investing phase comes in. So if you buy these upgrade cards, what they do is they replace the base stages and they increase its capacity. So this singing geologist card would replace the base sourcing stage, and instead of getting one raw material for free, I now get 3 raw materials for free. So the upper left-hand corner tells you how much the upgrade costs. So this would cost $8, and I start with 20, so I could buy it. So I buy it for 8 bucks, and now when I run my process, instead of getting one raw material for free, I'm actually going to get 3. But we have a bit of an issue here, because while I get 3 raw materials, and that's fantastic, I only had capacity for 1 in the fabrication stage. So what that means is when we run this process, I get 3 raw materials. One of them continues on to become a widget and makes me $20. And then the other 2 are left over. And what I can do now is I can go to the free market, which is this central marketplace, and I can see what the going price for raw materials are. It looks like they sell for 4 bucks. So the row values in the marketplace tell you how much you can sell resources for. So in this case, I could sell 1 raw material for 4 and 1 for 3. And I can make an extra 7 bucks. So awesome. My geologist went ahead and made me some money. That's fantastic. But then the question is, okay, so that's what the geologist would do, but what happens if I instead had bought this mechanical engineer? So he turns 3 raw materials into 3 parts. Sounds great. But as we know, I'm only going to get 1 raw material. Well, the market works both ways. The list price is not just the price for selling materials, it's also the price to purchase them. So during the investing phase, what I could have done is I could have bought this mechanical engineer who increased the capacity of my fabrication stage, and I could also buy a couple raw materials. And now when I run my process, the raw materials, I will still get 1 for free, and then all 3 raw materials I would now have would all be turned into parts. And the cool thing is that parts sell for more than raw materials. Remember how I sold 2 raw materials for 7 bucks? 2 parts would sell for 15. So as you produce higher value resources, they sell for more money. But the problem is I don't really have enough money to pull this plan off, because he costs $16 and then I'd have to spend 7 bucks on parts, and I just frankly don't have that much money. So you make more money as you invest later in your process, but it costs more money because these things are more expensive. So the trick with this game is trying to figure out, okay, well, I definitely want to upgrade these more valuable stages, but, I need money to do that. And it's all about trying to figure out what's going to make you the most money, what combination of, cards that I buy and resources that I purchase will give me the most money so that the next turn I can invest even more in my process, make even more money. Okay. That's pretty much the gist of it. There's one last rule that we haven't gone over, and that is that you can refresh this marketplace. So it costs a dollar in the first quarter, and that price goes up as the game goes on. But you can spend money to reset this marketplace and see new options. So there's a little bit of a push your luck element of, there might be some perfect cards that can really make me a lot of money, but how much do I want to spend to see if I can find them? So this is the strategy of the game, evaluating what's really going to make me the most money, and how much do I want to risk to potentially make even more money. And I'll tell you this right now, nobody wins this game playing it completely safe. In a business, you have to risk a little if you want to win a little. Did I miss anything, Alex, or do you think we're good to get going?
Nope, I think that's more or less everything that we need to consider. Although, uh, we are running a sweatshop here. We got workers to pay.
That's good point. So I only covered making money, but unfortunately, there are costs associated with doing business. You see this little worker icon at the bottom of each stage? That's what it costs you to pay your workers. You don't pay them, they don't enjoy it, and you probably don't have a business. So after you make your money, you go into the upkeep phase, and this is where you pay wages. And it's quite simple. It's just a dollar for each of these worker icons in the classic mode version of the game. So at baseline, I would have made 20 bucks, but I would have had to pay $4, which is the sum of all these arms in upkeep. Now, you notice as you upgrade these cards, they do increase your wages you're required to pay. So buying this guy would have actually increased my upkeep by $4, and then my total upkeep would have now been 7 instead of 4. So sorry, it would have increased it by 3. There is a bit of a trade-off where cheaper cards have higher upkeep, and then more expensive cards have lower upkeep. So it's kind of up to you what makes more sense in the moment. Pay more up front or pay more over time. Okay. There is another aspect. If you have leftover resources, you're not required to sell them back to the market. You can hang on to them and keep them in your warehouse, but you do have to pay storage fees of $1 per resource per turn that you store it. So most of the time we recommend you just go ahead and sell it back to the market, but not required. Okay. I
Just
think
keep in mind your engine does run every turn, so any surpluses that accumulate do tend to stack up.
that's exactly right. All right, I think we're ready to get rumbling. I'm excited to see which widget will be superior, and the snooze ruse is going first.
All right. Well, the snooze ruse needs some raw materials, so like you said before, the singing geologist looks pretty good to me. So I'll pick that up for $8. I'm
Okay.
just gonna take my cash down to 12. And ooh, a mechanical engineer would be pretty nice for me right now, but I don't exactly have the cash for it. So I might just hang on to my money right now and go ahead and run my production. So you can see that in my production, going from left to right, my singing geologist produces 3 raw materials, but my fabrication can only take 1. So I'm going to have 2 raw materials left over, which I'm going to represent by grabbing 2 raw materials from the stockpile, and then 1 part is going to go through to assembly, is going to become a finished good, which is then going to go to retail and sell for 20 bucks. So I'm going to go ahead and add 20 bucks to my counter, which gives me 32. Now that I've finished making my widgets, I'm going to go ahead and sell those 2 extra raw materials that I produced back to the raw materials market. I can see that there's an open slot on the $4 row, so I'm going to sell it to there. And since there's no more room on that row, I have to sell it to the upper row for $3. So in total, I will get $7 more for that, putting me to 39. But keep in mind, I do have to pay my workers. So for a total of 4 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is $7 total, taking me back down to 32 for a Q1. And that's going to be my turn.
Nice. And don't forget, there's fun little jokes on every card. So the singing geologist only knows rock music, unfortunately.
Hey,
Ooh.
what can I say? I'm a fan.
Love the flavor text. It's the best part. So
Oh, but love. I could have used
yeah,
that.
it's a good card. I'm gonna go ahead and take that. So, as we saw, like the mechanical engineer would have been good because it uses raw materials, and Alex just dropped the price of raw materials by selling to the raw materials market. But he was gonna be too expensive. He was 16, and I only have 20 bucks. But I got lucky, and Made with Love showed up. This delightful grandmother only costs $8, which I can afford. Fantastic. So I've increased my capacity in fabrication, but I need raw materials to take advantage of this. I'm producing 1. I could use up to 3. So do I have enough money to buy two more? Well, two more, it looks like it's going to cost 7, and I have $12, so I think I do. I'm going to go ahead and buy these for $7, which takes me down to 5. And notice we're not redrawing cards as we buy them. They only replace on the next player's turn unless you want to pay for a refresh. In this case, I think I'm good. I only have $5 left, so I don't really think there's a lot of things I'd be able to buy should I reset here. So I'm just going to go ahead and run my engine. So I'm going to get another raw material for free from my base sourcing stage. All 3 are going to become parts because I upgraded Fab. So I'm going to have 2 parts left over because the other part is going to go through my engine to become a finished good and then give me 20 bucks. So I made $20 off one widget, and then I'm going to go ahead and sell these other 2 parts back to the market for $15. So I'm already at 30 bucks, which is looking pretty good here.
That
Or
should be 40 bucks, I
40
think,
bucks.
right?
You're right. Bad math. And then my labor is the same, so I'm at 33.
Ooh,
Ah,
you're $1
feels
ahead.
feels good to be a master business owner.
I hope you enjoyed those cheap raw materials I gave you.
I sure did, but I've now flooded the parts market and I'm about to flood it again, so we're gonna see what happens. So the quarter ends. We're gonna go ahead to Q2. We're gonna wipe the cards that we didn't purchase, and we're gonna draw 3 new cards and see what comes out. We're getting a lot of
And
sourcing cards now.
unfortunately, at the end of the quarter, the first mover advantage elephant does betray me. Its friendship is very fickle and moves
Mm-hmm.
over to Joe, who's going to be starting this turn.
I'm gonna treat you good, elephant. You're gonna like being over on my side of the fence. We have dental. It's pretty good.
Just you wait, we have pizza parties.
Uh-oh. Okay, so now we're in okay, so first quarter, pretty straightforward. There's not usually a lot of choices to come up. Now I'm stuck with a choice. So this forklift would actually be pretty good, and so would these sourcing, because I don't have upgrades to either of these stages. But I've played this game before, and I know that these kind of low, we call them low tier cards, tier 2, because they have 2 capacity. I know those aren't going to win me the game. So I have an option here of refreshing potentially for a higher tier card um, that could potentially make me more money. Um, I don't know if it'll show up though, and it's now $2 to refresh. So I guess the question is, do I risk it for the biscuit? And
I
if
think
you,
the question is, Joe, are you feeling lucky?
I think I am, baby. Reset
All
that.
right, let's
Nah.
see
Drum
it.
roll. Let's go. All right. Grease
Ooh, grease
monkey. Not
monkey.
good. Data miner. Maybe.
Ooh,
Duct tape. Okay.
data
Interesting.
miner's not half bad.
Data miner is not half bad. Duct tape is not half good. So it would cost me 20 bucks to get both of these. It would be a pretty good sourcing card, but still pretty bad purple card. And those are definitely like they can make you a lot of money. Do I reset one more time?
Mm,
Because if I get a
I
big
mean,
purple here to partner with my lovely grandmother, I feel like I'll be making some good money.
right. And keep in mind, you can do your actions in any order. So if Joe wanted, he could pick up the data miner and then reset again.
That's true. Yes. So the red number in the upper right hand corner is the resale value. You're always welcome to sell cards for half the money you paid for them. So sometimes it's smart to like cover your bases. Like maybe I'd pick up this purple reset and I could always sell it if there's something better. But you know what? I'm just a risk taker. Come on, baby. Let's go. I want a good purple. I'm going hard. I'm here to
All
win.
right. Next loaders is coming right up. What's
That
going to happen?
it better. Uh-oh, not good.
Uh,
Ooh. Eh. Ooh.
give me the
Okay,
go.
okay, okay. You know what?
All
I
right.
like this. I like this. So what I'm gonna do, 3 cards came out, and I'm not limited to buy just one. I'm gonna buy all 3, and I'm gonna have a fully built engine turn 2. So that cost me a total of $12 to buy all 3 of them because they were $4 each. And
Dang.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna be down to so it's $17. And notice my engine's fully built, but I actually have some extra capacity because this is producing 2 raw materials, but my grandmother can take 3. So I'm going to buy one more raw material for $4. And I'm down to $13 of spare change. And now I can run my engine. So now I'm going to get 2 raw materials, which brings me up to 3. My grandmother turns all 3 into parts, which leaves me with 1 part left over because the other two become finished goods with my quality control cat, and the two finished goods are sold for $40. So I'm up to $53. I'm going to sell my last leftover part, bringing me to a total of 60. And now it's time to pay my workers. Oh no, they're so expensive.
Sounds like someone's manufacturing in California.
Yeah, this is a real California engine right here. So that's $13 of labor fees. Oh boy. Well, I just want to make sure that they can afford rent. So I'm happy to support the octopi cat strainers of the world, you know? All right. Well, I bought all the cards, so let's see what Alex gets.
All right. Ooh,
Wow. Oh,
okay.
there's mech suit
Oh,
loaders.
I
This.
got some options, but I can't afford them all.
Oh
All right.
no.
Where are we ending up?
Okay. What is it gonna be?
Okay. I think, given that parts are a little on the cheap side right now, it actually might behoove me to purchase mech suit loaders instead of
Mm.
a 3D printer, because even though a 3D printer can receive
Mm.
all the outputs from my singing geologist, as you can see in the marketplace, the parts market is getting pretty full.
Right.
And if I start producing a huge surplus, I'm gonna get next to nothing for it. Keep in mind, the marketplace does have a limited capacity, so if it fills it completely, you can't sell anymore, and if it empties out completely, you can't buy anymore.
Mm.
So that's an important factor to think about. That being said, I am going to pick up Mexit loaders for 20 bucks, bringing me
Yeah.
down to 12. And with my remaining cash, I can go ahead and pick up a part. It would be better if I could pick up more, but with my remaining cash, that's all I can do. Take me down to 5. So now that I don't have a lot of cash left, I'm just going to go ahead and run my engine. So geologist, same as last time, is going to produce 3, but since I can only put through 1 raw material, I'm going to have 2 left over.
Mm.
That one part left over, sorry, that one part that goes through joins up with the part that I purchased, and Mexit Loaders processes both of them into 2 finished goods total. You can always underproduce, even if your maximum capacity is 4. I put through 2, giving me 2 finished goods, and I'm going to put one of those finished goods through retail, earning me 20 bucks. So after my initial production, that puts me at 25, but I can sell my raw materials for 4 and 4 for a total of 8, and this finished good for 14, which puts me up to 22 if my math isn't wrong.
Yep,
So
you're good.
22 plus 25 is 47, and I have workers to pay. All right, so this is 9. So this puts me down to 38.
Okay. All right. Now the elephant betrays me. We're moving into Q3. We're pretty close in money, but I am happy to enjoy a slight lead here.
Hmm.
And let's see what comes up next.
All right. I do need fabrication and retail, but these cards are kind of weak going into Q3, if I'm going to be completely honest. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not totally convinced that these are going to give me the edge that I need to win the game. So I'm going to pay 3 bucks and I'm going to refresh these cards.
All right.
All right, draw me 3 new ones.
Ooh, not tier. Ooh, two tier three, tier two retail. That's not gonna do it. Here it
Hmm.
comes. Here it comes. Big money. Big
Come on,
money. It's always the
something
third
bigger.
card, and
Oh, it's
ooh,
the forklift.
not good.
Um,
Pay to play,
well,
baby.
I am at least going to hedge my bets a little bit. I'm going to pick up Sign Twirler because he's very affordable.
And
He's
for
ready to work for a very affordable, reasonable rate. And I'm also going to refresh again for
okay.
$3.
Let's see what we got. Oh,
Oh,
marketing guru. Oh, 80s training video and a toy shovel. All right. Some good,
Okay.
some
So
good
now we have options.
options. Options.
Okay. So I think what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye to Professional Sign Twirler.
Mm,
I'm sorry I had hardly knew yet. So I'm gonna get $2 back, which puts me up to 30. And
mhm.
I'm gonna go ahead and purchase Marketing Guru, which takes me down to 18.
Okay.
And what I'm also going to do is that I'm going to pick up 2 parts from the parts market for 7 and 8. So that takes me down to 3.
So notice
And
he still has not been able to fully use his engine, but he's really set up for a big Q4. And as we all know, Q4 is the most important close quarter. So
where the money gets made.
that's right. He's heading for a nice fiscal year.
We got a little bit of a missing link right now, but I'm confident that Q4 might swing a little bit of good materials my way.
All
All
right.
right. So let's go ahead and run my production. Same as before, geologist tosses me 2 extra raw materials.
Okay.
Once one of them goes through, one of them's going to join up with the 2 parts that I bought. And mech
Hmm.
suit loaders, marketing guru push through 3 of these for a total of $60.
Nice.
All right.
And he has
So
two parts left over, and he made $60 off his engine. Big money.
nice.
Well,
Puts
bam.
me at 3. I'm going to sell these 2 for another 6.
Okay.
So that puts me up to 9.
Okay, so he actually wins the game automatically for achieving. No, I'm just kidding.
Unfortunately, marketing guru does require quite a lot of people on staff, so she is going to demand a pretty high salary.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Right. So my total labor cost is 13, putting
Okay.
me down to 56.
All right, 56. Okay.
All right, over to you.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay.
Feeling like some digging in the sand a bit?
Not exactly, I think. All right. So I really need this is a dangerous engine Alex has. It's definitely gonna make him a lot of money next turn. I think I need to definitely bulk up my purple and green stages. I mean, 80s training video guys pretty good, but with Alex having marketing guru, I think I have no choice but to try to get a pretty big retail stage if I want to win. So I'm gonna go ahead and spend $3 and just not take any of these. I'm just gonna reset.
Marketing guru knows what she's doing. She's best in the biz for a reason.
She's pretty good at selling. She's definitely a strong retail card. All right, nice
If only we could
bathrooms,
hire
QC
her to
gas.
sell widgets and digits.
Free parking is also pretty good. I think it's not gonna cut it though. I think I do. I think I'm gonna re-roll again.
Better reroll, rather rerolling
It's
is cheap.
it's hard to see all these good cards go by because you're like, hmm, pretty risky. Oh,
Oh,
adding a coffee shop. Let's go.
all right, now you got some options.
All right, those hipsters are gonna save my business. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell my sign twirler. He did a great job attracting business, but it's time we made some upgrades. I'm gonna buy adding a coffee shop. That'll be $16, which takes me down to 27, I believe.
Yep.
You get pretty good at math when you play this game, which is nice. And I can buy exactly 2 finished goods. Wait, no, I can't.
They're
Oh.
$2 short. $1 short.
Dollar short. Okay. Okay. $1 short. All right, team. Let's think about this. Always $1 short, a day late. Okay, so
I'm feeling pretty good about the snooze ruse prospects.
I need 2 purples to really get my coffee shop to pay off. Because I could buy one for 14 and that'll leave me at $13. Now I could sell some of my engine to get a little cash back, but the problem
Mm.
is then it's not really gonna help me because these raw materials are more expensive. I wouldn't have enough money for raw materials. So either way, whether I sold some of my engine to get cash or I just only buy one purple, I'm just out of luck here. Which means it's time to risk it for the biscuit. Let's go. We're here
Right.
to win.
I'm surprised you didn't consider a discount mining card that would have smoothed out your sourcing a little bit.
I refuse. Hey, we have an instruction.
Hey,
Oh,
ooh,
perfect. Okay. Special
ooh.
delivery stork is a very nice $8 purple, and I can sell quality control cat for $2, taking me up to 26. I'm going to buy special delivery stork. I'm down to 18, and now I'll be producing 3 finished goods. I can buy a raw material for $3,
Ooh.
and I have just enough money for a finished good, leaving me at $1 of spare change. All
Oh,
right.
those margins.
Now we're looking good. So I'm going to produce 2 raw materials, which will bring me up to 3. All 3 become parts. All 3 parts become finished goods. And all 3 finished goods plus the one I bought, it would be 4. All 4 are getting sold at market for $20 a piece, making me $80 even.
Oh boy.
And that That's how you risk it for the biscuit, people.
You still got workers.
I'm either here to lose by a lot or win by a lot. That's it.
It's a game of extremes.
All right. So I made a lot of money, but unfortunately, I hired a lot of expensive people, and I am at $15 of labor. These guys have really nice apartments, probably better than mine. And I have 66 at the end of my turn. All right. We're moving into Q4 of the final round here. I'm feeling
Alright,
pretty
first one,
confident. I knew those hipsters would save my business.
looking for a good sourcing card, perhaps.
Ah, could probably get a sourcing card. So now this is where it gets interesting. I really risked it to get my engine set up earlier, and now refreshing is pretty expensive. It's $4 a turn. I don't know that refreshing too much is gonna really make me that much money. This is a kind of the idea of ROI in business of like the more time a card runs, the more money it makes you. So investing early is more valuable than investing later. So investing this turn, I don't know how much money, even if I get a better card, I don't know if it's really gonna make me that much. So I think I might just be happy with where I'm at. I know that I need to buy one more finished good and one more raw material to make sure my, oops, those are coming from the wrong place. I need to buy a finished good and a raw material for a total of $17 so that my engine will run. That puts me at $49. And then I'm just going to let it run, which makes me a clean 80 bucks.
Ooh.
And,
All right.
and I am at 129. And then I have to pay labor of $15, which puts me at 114. And that is where I'm going to end Q4. Go ahead, Alex.
That puts you in a pretty scary position to be staring down the barrel of. I
Mm-hmm.
like what you did with your efficiency play. You didn't feel like risking it further for the biscuit, but you forgot one tactical error.
Oh
You
no!
left Warhammer on the
No!
table.
Oh, I could have. I should have done a toxic refresh. I didn't even think about Alex's engine. Oh,
Yes,
he's.
so
It's the perfect card for him. The Warhammer.
so in this game, winning isn't just about maximizing your own engine, it's also about
Ah,
checking out what your competitors are doing.
this is true.
So, all right.
Uh-oh.
Thanks to your very kind tactical oversight, I'm going to
Oh
be
no.
picking up Warhammer for 16. That's going to put me down to 40 since I paid $16. And you know what? I'm going to take a page out of your book. I don't think it's worth it to dig for an upgrade to Sing Geologist. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to go ahead and pick up a raw material from the market for $4.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and run my engine.
And it's
So
perfect. It just goes all the way through.
yep, that's a almost perfectly balanced engine. So I'm gonna make a clean $80. This raw material goes back into the stockpile since I used it, which puts me at 116.
Oh.
But I still have to pay labor though.
Oh. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for that. Drain him dry,
Right.
workers.
All right. Yeah. Unfortunately, my staff is pretty expensive. Man, that Warhammer takes four whole
You
people
just
to
got to get
lift.
rid of all their 401ks. You know, they don't need those.
Yeah, we'll just cut back their benefits a bit. They'll be fine. We'll
We're
do annual
joking,
bonuses.
everyone. We're joking. It's very important to have retirement.
Yeah, and make sure to always look for companies that are willing to give you good benefits because then they're probably more likely to take care of you.
That's right.
All right, so my labor cost is going to be 12, so that takes me down to 104.
All right.
All right,
So I'm feeling
but the
pretty
game's
good.
not
I
over yet.
So that's the end of the game. But it's not just about the money you made in your final score. It's also about the value of your engine. So your total net worth is the sum of your cash, so that's the money you've made, and your assets, which is the red sell values of your cards. So go ahead and use your card to add up your cash and your sell values. That gives you your net worth, and we're going to see what the final score is. And I think it's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, this was a pretty tightly fought game.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. Boy, it's gonna be
All
really
right,
close.
I'm feeling good, but I'm not feeling secure. Let's see
I
how we
I
do.
felt I was feeling good before, but you made a lot of money there, so I don't really know.
I was getting nervous because like Steve came in when I think the 3D printer came
Oh
in
yeah,
when.
you
So,
really needed. Okay, oh my gosh, what's it gonna be? I'm nervous. How much did you
all
make?
right, I have a total score of 132.
No way, it's a tie game. Oh my gosh.
Are you serious?
I
Okay,
made
I promise we didn't
132.
script
I
it.
made 132 as well. I'm telling you guys right now, we were playing for real, and that definitely just happened. So first of all, that's insane. There are rules for a tie. In the event of the tie, this is the worst. The person with the more valuable engine actually wins. And so Alex wins this game because he had better cards in his engine. Ugh.
Heyo, my engine's worth $28 compared to Joe's measly 18,
This is
so
trash. I hate this game.
victory is mine.
Okay, so Alex wins. In the real game, there is a wall of widget winners on the inside cover of your box. He could go ahead and record his widget and his winning scores, and the snooze ruse goes down in history. But at the end of the day, it's not just about winning the game, it's about what kind of business you were able to make. If you flip the rulebook over, you have a score ranking on the back, which tells you what kind of business you were. I'm happy to say that both of us are exceptional capitalists, and we made it to the legendary spot of turtlenecks and magazine covers. Woo!
Woo! All right, Joe, I'll see you at the Time Magazine photo shoot this weekend.
I will, but I'll be mad because you won. That was crazy. Good job. That was awesome. And so that is a game of widgets and digits. All right. So that was classic mode. I think it's very important that everybody starts out by playing classic mode. As you can see, there's a couple elements to it you got to kind of wrap your head around, and you really want to get used to this kind of strategy of evaluating your investment options and deciding if it's a good investment. Because the next two game modes that we're about to show are actually going to really you're gonna have to be able to make money in this game if you want to use those. The next two game modes are much more challenging. It's about to get a lot more difficult to win. So if you aren't, if you don't have this strategy kind of figured out, you're gonna find the next two game modes probably a little difficult. So I definitely recommend playing classic mode. We usually say like you want to try to make it to turtlenecks and magazine covers. If you can get to the top of the score rankings, you're probably in a good place to try some of the expansions. Okay. All right. Did I miss anything, Alex, or should we try the next level?
Nope, I'm good for the next level.
Oh man,
This is going to be a true deciding factor.
I can't believe it. That was crazy. All right. Okay.
I don't think we could script this if we tried.
Yeah, that was nuts. I can't believe you did that. We've gotten like 5 ties ever, maybe. We played this game like 300 times. So,
I
uh,
actually did get a tie while I was demoing at MaricopaCon. It was wild.
wow, those are definitely the most fun ones. Okay, so we're now going to play the executive experience, and this incorporates both expansions to the game. And this is a much more strategic way to play. So, as I said before, make sure you kind of understand the basics before you try these expansions for your best possible experience. So there's going to be 2 modifications to the game since we're doing both expansions. The first is we are now going to have to use workers. So remember how at the bottom of your board there is a little arm symbol for the amount of workers for each stage. In classic mode, that's just how much you pay, right? Each arm costs $1. Very simple. In Worker Wars, that is now the labor requirement. So if you want this stage to run, you need to put a worker there. Luckily, everybody starts with 4. So at your baseline, everybody can go ahead and run their base engine. But if you want to get upgrades, as you saw before, most of the upgrades have higher worker requirements, which means you're going to need more workers if you want to use those upgrades. So how do you get more workers? Well, at the beginning of each round, we are now going to have a round of labor bidding. There is always going to be a small number of workers available in the labor market, and Alex and I are going to have to bid against each other for the right to hire them. But workers, being intelligent workers, would rather go with a company that's offering them more money. So if you outbid somebody, you're going to have the right to hire workers first, and you can hire as many workers as you want, up to all of them at your bid price per worker. So say Alex goes first and he's feeling cost saving, so he bids $0 per worker. That means if I don't outbid him, he could get all of them for free, right? Which would be pretty good. But me, being a savvy business owner, says I'm not going to let him do that. I'm going to bid $1. All right. So now the workers are like, let's go with the Friendly Bee Game Co. because of their great employment practices. And I can hire as many as I want for $1 per worker. I could even take the whole market and Alex gets nothing. But you got to remember, you still have to pay workers wages in the upkeep phase. So if you hire too many just because they're cheap, you might find yourself draining all your resources to support these guys, gambling addictions, and then you're going to be out of business very soon, right? So bear in mind that this is going to be a very important part of the strategy of the game, and you're going to have to be very smart about how much you want to bid, because how much you need those workers is going to be a core part of the strategy. So that's Worker Wars, is incorporating this labor market. The second piece of Worker Wars, or the second expansion, is Boardroom Battle. It's this blue deck that came in its own box. And what Boardroom Battle does is it introduces card abilities. So now some of the cards are going to have a glowing blue border, like this suggestion box card, and it has an ability. So when you buy it, not only do you get the upgrade, right? Like this upgrades retail, and you could now sell two finished goods for 20 bucks a piece. It also gives you this ability. Looks like once per turn, you can trash a resource you own and get money from the bank. So instead of having to sell a resource for the top value, you could get rid of it and get the bottom. So you just get extra money for one resource per turn. That's a pretty good ability, and is definitely something that might be helpful later in the game, especially as some of these markets start to get flooded. So there are 12 unique abilities in Boardroom Battle. They have all kinds of effects. So using them together can do all kinds of crazy things. You're going to want to keep an eye out for them. And this is the executive experience. But a new experience requires a new company. So let's go ahead and create our widgets for round 2.
All right. I like how you described this behavior as like cost saving earlier. That's a very polite way to say cheapskate.
I'm really optimizing my business for efficiency by not paying my workers.
Yep.
It's all about the PR.
Yep. You gotta do some
Um,
rebranding.
oh my God.
All right.
All right.
I like this idea too.
Okay. Wait. All right. I had you read first last time, so I'll read first this time.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. My company, my widget's called PR Peeps, and they are little marshmallow consultants which come up with catchy slogans. And our slogan is, if you don't eat Logan, he'll make you a slogan.
I feel like the threat of being eaten is a pretty good motivator for someone to go to work.
I think so. I think it's hilarious. It's like, if you don't eat him, he'll come up with. If you do eat him, he's tasty. I get it.
Yeah. What is it, people? Only like what, 35 calories? That's
Yeah,
reasonable.
right. Logan, you're looking pretty healthy right now.
All right, from the company that brought you the Snooze Ruse, we have the Muse Cruise. This
Oh my
luxurious
gosh.
cruise is the best place to come up with a new idea for your next novel, screenplay, or board game.
Oh my gosh.
Take the Muse Cruise and sail the ocean blues.
I love it. That's a great idea. We always love a cruise, but unfortunately, you are pitching to an elephant, and elephants love marshmallows. So
It's true.
it was a clear winner from the moment it began. Uh, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go first. We're gonna start this game by bidding, and I am a cheapskate. I'd love to bid at $0, but I also don't trust my comrade here to leave me any workers. So I think I'm gonna bid $1 and force him to outbid me if he wants to lock me out of this market.
Mm. Now, the interesting thing about Worker Wars is that even though it looked like I'm at a disadvantage by going second, I'm actually able to respond to Joe's bid with my information. So since Joe's bidding one, if I want to beat him and hire workers first, I'm gonna have to bid $2. But if I'm okay with just kind of letting him get as many workers as he wants, I could go for $0 and pick up whatever scraps that he leaves me. Now, Joe does have a history of being a bit of a labor bully, so I am a little bit apprehensive of bidding at zero.
Hey,
um,
I get it. I am, you know.
all right. You know what? Let's play it a little safe. You know what? I'm gonna beat you at $2.
Oh, interesting. Okay, go ahead. Go
All
ahead.
right. So with that, I'm just gonna go ahead and pick up one.
Okay, so it takes you
One
down to
opens up some
18.
options.
All right, I'm actually going to take the rest of the market. I'm going to take for $3. Oops. Um, I'm feeling good about this start. I think the suggestion box is really going to help me. Okay, so I now the bid. Oh, sorry. If there is a tie-in bids, whoever has the first mover advantage, elephant or turn order takes precedence. So that's why Alex had to outbid me because if he bid the same, I still would have gone first.
Mhm.
Um, Okay, great. Now I start. And I did have the advantage of knowing the first cards for sale, which is definitely helpful as you decide how much labor to bid. Okay, so I am going to buy Suggestion Box for $8, which takes me down to 9. But I can use its ability right away because its ability is once per turn, you can trash a resource you own and collect its bottom row value from the bank, which means I can go ahead and buy one of these resources, trash it immediately, and collect the difference. So it's $3 difference for all of them. And I'm thinking that strategically, I have a better chance of needing to buy a raw material. So I'm actually going to go ahead and buy a part, trash it immediately, and it just ends up giving me an extra $3, which is pretty nice because
Mm.
I'm actually planning on resetting and see if I
Oh,
can't get one more card. Ooh.
all right.
Oh,
Good dog.
perfect. Oh, ooh, we got options
Oh, the
team.
button.
Let me go ahead and
That's
staff my
$1 off
workers,
your
make sure these guys are working. Okay, so my suggestion box is gonna need two.
Wait, did you
Um,
pay $1 for the reset?
I did. Oh wait, no, I didn't. So I'm at 11.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. The dog and the bid red button are actually really good, but I would need three workers to use them. So I might actually, you know what? Uh, I can't even afford the finished good that you need for assembly, so I'm gonna actually sell suggestion box. You served me well.
Whoa.
So I get $4 back. I
Well,
lost $1 on
congratulations.
all of that. I don't know if that was worth it, but you know it was fun. And I'm gonna actually buy the dog and the big red button for a total of $12. So that leaves me at 13, or sorry, 3. And then I'm gonna go ahead and reallocate my workers. So I have, um, wait, wait, oh yeah, there we go. All right, so perfect. I'm all staffed up. I have 3 workers for my dog, 2 for my button, 1 at the rest of my stages, and I can go ahead and move into production. Let me go over and explain these abilities. The dog, when you discard him, allows you to go into the discard pile and buy a card at 50% off. So discarding is when you don't get this resale value, so you forfeit the $2, but then you can go and buy a card for half off. That's really good. The big red button is kind of a risk-taking card. You can steal from you basically draw a random card, and if it's a black or a red card, you steal money from your opponent. But if it's a purple or green card, you have to sell this card. So it's kind of a 50-50 risk that I could potentially steal some money from Alex, or I could potentially create a hole in my engine. Too risky right now. I'm gonna go ahead and wait to use that ability, but I think it's gonna be fun later. Okay, I think I'm good to go. I go ahead and I produce a raw material because I get an extra raw material for my dog. So that's 2 raw materials. They both become parts. One part sticks around, and then the other one goes through the rest of my engine to become $20. I'm going to go ahead and sell my leftover part for $8, bringing me up to $31. And then I have to still pay labor for everything. So that is unfortunately a $7 labor fee, bringing me back to 24. And
And keep
that's,
in mind, in Worker Wars, you don't just add up the numbers on the cards. You have to pay $1 in wages for every single worker on your staff, even if they're just
yes.
chilling out in the break room.
That's why it's really important to get the amount of workers right so you're not paying for people that aren't working. Oh boy. All right, Alex, let's see what you got.
All right. Well, this is a little bit less favorable of a draw. Since that I actually only have one worker to spare, I can't actually purchase any of these cards and fully use it without uh, cannibalizing a worker from one of my other stages,
Now,
which is a little bit unfortunate.
let me explain. So, Spit and Prayers, since it showed up, this card, when you discard it, so again, forfeiting that resale value, you can attach it to another card and increase its capacity by one. So that would turn either of these cards into a five capacity card. Like if you put it on a fusion drill, you would just get five raw materials instead of four. And it doesn't add anything to the labor cost or resale value. So it's kind of an interesting card where you could pick it up, but then you could potentially get rid of it almost immediately to make another card better. Um,
Right.
be
It is a
interesting.
very good card once you have a bit more of an engine built up, but unfortunately, I have no cards with which to upgrade it with. So I'm afraid I must
Are you
pay
get what?
$1
Are you
and
sure?
refresh.
Are you sure you don't want to just buy it? Because you could get a card later.
It is true, but since Spit and Prayers requires three, I would have to brick some other part of my engine in
Un-
order to really make full use of it.
Unless you get a card that requires only one or like a two, and then you could use it immediately to upgrade it. Are you a risk taker, Alex? That's what I'm asking you.
I feel like the competition is trying to goad me into making some perhaps unwise business
I
decisions.
definitely wouldn't do it. Come on, let me see it.
Hmm. Well, the benefit of Joe's engine right now is that his dog and Big Red Button are going to be producing more parts, which means that if I pick up Spit and Prayers, things might be a little bit more favorable for me later on down the line. So you know what?
Oh, other thing we should call out is that you can reallocate your workers and just choose not to run stages. You remember you just have to. They're not going to run at all if you don't meet the worker requirements. You would just need to buy the resource that they would have produced. So that's also something you can consider.
Right. All right. I there's a ton of good cards in the deck, so you know what? We're gonna pick up Spin
Let's
Prayers for four
go.
bucks.
I'm telling you, that's actually going to be a great call because you can use it immediately. It's going to happen. I believe. I believe.
All right, we'll see it. All right, I am going to pay $1 to refresh, so let's
Okay.
draw three new ones.
Okay. Better hope for a
All right.
12. Better hope for a 12. Ooh.
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 Hmm.
Mmm.
Canary is pretty nice.
Yeah,
So
Canary is pretty nice.
a little bit of an explanation of what Canary does. Canary's effect is exclusive to Worker Wars, so it will only take effect during the executive experience. But Canary's effect is that you can hire workers at a $1 discount on your bid price. So it gives me a little bit of a financial advantage to be able to bid at a higher value, but still pay a lower price for my
Yep.
workers.
So in other
So
words,
that
he basically, if he gets Canary, I effectively am playing Alex's game in the labor market. No
it's gonna
longer
be my
will
world.
no longer will he be worker hungry like he is this turn.
My frugality rewards me.
Plus,
All
you could
right.
also use that spit and prayers that you just picked up, and now it's an even better card.
That is pretty tempting. So I think that, yes, I'm going to actually do that.
I
So
told
I'm
you.
going to pick up Canary for $8. That puts me down to five. And since Canary requires two workers, I'm going to assign the worker that I hired earlier to Canary. So now she's active. And with that, I'm also going to discard Spit and Prayers and just kind of stack him underneath Canary.
Now,
So now,
one other thing I'll mention for people playing this game. So even though the base stage would run with one worker on it, the moment he upgraded it to work Spit and Prayers, it now would not run at all, not even at the base level, since he doesn't meet this worker requirement. So buying
mhm,
cards that you can't use is a big disadvantage in Worker Wars. But since he's discarding it, it now is back to its one worker requirement. So he's good. Once Spit and Prayers is discarded and attached to another card, it's you can ignore its labor requirement. And
yep,
now he has a three capacity Canary, which is pretty good.
pretty
And
nice.
he's all staffed up.
All right, I would pick a bid rep button if I had $3 more, but alas.
Mm,
So in that case, I'm just going to go ahead and run production. Canary gives me three raw materials, which is very nice.
nice.
She is the mine supervisor after all.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta snip out the poison gases.
Yep.
All right, so I get three raw materials. One's going to go all the way through to retail, so that's going to earn me $20, putting
Nice.
me at 25, not 52, 25. And I'm going to go ahead and sell those two extra raw materials for 4 and 3. for an extra $7 total.
Nice.
So that puts me up to 32.
Nice.
Now my labor cost, because I was pretty frugal on hiring workers, is only $5. So that puts me down to 27.
Ooh. So Alex took the lead. I don't like that. All right, and then that's the end of Q1. So notice there's definitely a lot more strategic decisions to make in this expansion, um, which is a lot of fun as long as you know the basics of the game. All right, we're gonna go ahead and refill the labor market. So there are again 4 workers available to hire, and we're gonna. Alex has the first mover advantage, elephant, and we're gonna go ahead and see what's going on here. Oh, Phil.
Ooh, okay. Now this is
Phil's
nice.
ability is very simple. You get a free card refresh every single turn as long as you have Phil, which is also that's really nice. We love that.
Very nice. Okay. Well, that is an interesting draw. The advantage of being able
Oh wait,
to
got a
go
bid.
first.
Got a bid first. Let's figure out
Yeah,
workers.
yeah, I was just explaining the advantage of
Oh,
going
okay,
first
sorry.
in turn order is that you actually get to see the cars that's going to be available. So you can kind of plan your bid accordingly,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the number of workers you think you're going to need.
Okay.
Yeah, so, well, Canary is giving me a $1 advantage, which means that even if I decide to bid $2, I can hire workers for $1, which is pretty nice. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. $2.
Well, the advantage of him having Canary is I know I will never win a labor bid again, so I bid $0.
All
uh,
right, now I can hire as many workers as I want for $1 apiece.
mm-hmm.
Hmm. Now, it would be good for me to pick up mechanical engineer and Phil because they kind of like funnel into each other.
Mm.
But I only have $27 at my disposal, and together they cost 28. So it's not actually that beneficial for me to pick up that many workers.
Just because you win
If-
doesn't mean that you'd still want to pay for workers you can't use. So here, Alex is being pretty smart in knowing that workers cost money. Just because they're cheap to hire doesn't mean that they're cheap to keep on staff.
Yeah, and overhiring not only means that you have to pay them more at the end of your turn, but if you decide to fire them, that's a lot of paperwork with HR you have to file.
Yeah, nobody wants to get sued. So
Right. And speaking of firing, you can let go of your workers at the end of your turn, but you do have to pay them wages for this turn before you fire them.
got to get that
If you
severance
ever-
check.
Yeah. So that's if you ever want to downsize your workforce. Hmm. Well, in that case, I think I'm going to just be a little bit more cautious and hmm, actually, that's pretty interesting. Well, no, if okay, Joe's probably gonna since I'm not gonna pick up Phil, Joe's probably gonna pick up Phil because he does need an assembly card. And Phil is really good in the sense that he only requires one worker, so that I can't really do anything if I decide to take up all the workers. He's still gonna be able to pick up Phil unless I pay for a card refresh, which is an option I also have. But that's
So
more cash out of my pocket.
there's a lot of cards in that deck too. You don't know what you're gonna find for me.
Yep. Isn't there some slogan? It's like you never know what you're gonna get. No, that's Forrest Gump.
That's Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump agreed. Forrest Gump like that.
This is a Forrest Gump approved card deck.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick up three.
Ooh.
So that's gonna cost me $3.
All right. I'll take my freebie. Jimmy's gonna
Three
watch
work.
some TV while we figure out what we're gonna staff him on.
All right.
I like to put my workers in the break room, having a little fun. They can play ping pong. They can get some snacks. They can chill at the table and hang out, or they can watch TV. So Jimmy's
We'll
gonna
get
go.
that vending machine fixed one day.
It's always broken, isn't it?
One day they're gonna get a coffee machine and not just have canned coffee. But maybe, maybe not. We'll
Maybe
see.
not. Well, they could add a coffee shop, but we know that costs $16.
And it does cost $4 per quarter to run.
Too bad.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go through with my plan to pick up the mechanical engineer for $16.
Okay.
He's a bit of an expensive hire, but I hear he has a master's in mechanical engineering. So,
Wait, I think you had like $24. You should be at like 8.
yep.
And then
Oh,
watch people cheating like this, even on stream. You gotta watch them.
sorry. It is quite troublesome to keep track of all these numbers. I should get a mechanical engineer on the case. His
Ah,
face is a calculator.
that's right. That's right. Also, he's one of the best jokes in the game. Error 404, social life not found. All
All
engineers
right.
see this and they get it.
Yeah, there is a certain degree of, yeah, that's true. The kind of pain that you kind of
I,
share with the game.
we feel
Ah,
it.
well.
We feel it.
Yep.
He's on the case though. Look at his calculations. He'll solve this problem eventually.
Yeah, he's solving for friends.
So good. All right. Back to
All right.
work. Let's see what
So,
we got.
mechanical engineer, despite his challenge with friendship, does actually require two workers.
Okay.
So he does have some people to hang out with. Um, the parts are pretty well, they're going for a reasonable price. I don't feel like $8 is really enough to work with in order to pick up any good cards. So I'm just gonna pump the brakes and we're gonna go ahead and produce.
Alrighty.
So Canary's gonna make three, mechanical engineer's gonna process three. Two of them are gonna stay behind at assembly since assembly can only process one. And I'm gonna sell that at retail for 20 bucks. So I'm gonna end up with 28 minus in addition to these parts, which are gonna sell for 8 and 7 for another 15.
Nice.
So that puts me up to 43, I believe.
43. And then
43.
now he's got to pay some labor. But unfortunately, he's got some guys watching TV in the break room. They still need to get their paychecks. So he has
Yeah,
to add up
hang on.
every single cube is his labor costs, which is what?
8,
$8?
I believe.
Yep.
All right. Puts me down to 35. Over
All
to
right.
you.
We better get those guys some work soon. All right. I
Mm,
feel like picking up Phil here is a no-brainer because he's $12 and I get a
let's
free
take a draw.
refresh. Oh wait, I got to draw for. Ooh, the big red broken mineral analyzer. So this card lets you draw the top 6 cards from the deck, discard 3, and put the other 3 back on top in any order. Also known as the sand timer card. It gives you quite a bit of game control, which is really nice. Interesting. I would love to have that card. Oh, plus when combined with Phil, I get a free refresh, so I get to rig the draw and then get that draw for free. I think I have to go for that. But that's gonna cost a total of $24,
Which
which
means you'd have to get rid of the dog without using its effect.
I know, and I don't like that. Plus, I'd have a ton of people left on staff. Tricky. Ah, it's such a powerful combo, though.
Yeah, Broken Mineral Analyzer is definitely one of the more thinky cards. Maybe in a premium version of Widgets will include a little hourglass.
That's great. All right, well, I feel like I got to get Phil no matter what. $12, no labor cost. That's a no-brainer. Ah, BMA
Well,
is
one
so
cost.
good. I could just refresh and use the dog to get BMA, but it kind of feels like a waste because the dog could get like a much more expensive card.
Hmm.
And I could get it for half off. Like mech suit loaders cost 20. I could get it for $10 with the dog, which is really nice. Um,
And replace poor Phil, he just got here.
there's so many choices. Man, this
Well, the
is
benefit
rough.
is you can use Phil's effect immediately, so you
Okay,
can refresh if you
I
want.
will say that it is public knowledge what's in the discard pile. So let's see. Fusion Drill's an expensive card. Marketing Guru's not that expensive, and she has a high labor requirement, which is tough in this version. There's a couple good cards in there that I could use the dog on. Uh, it's important not to get ability envy in this game because because you will have to get rid of these cards eventually, and you keep buying all the fun new cards, and then you waste all your money and don't make any money. And Alex has currently got a lot of money, and I have to make some money.
Well, a reasonable amount of money.
It's too much money. Don't like it. Okay. I have an extra worker, and if I sell the dog, I'll have 3 extra workers, which is nice. And 80's training video is also a good card. Ah, I really want BMA though. I mean, the dog is so good though. Oh, it's so hard to
He
choose.
loves to scan.
I wish there was let's see what's going on in here. Oh, there's a big red button for sale. Hmm.
You already have a big red button.
Hmm. But I could have
You
another
feel,
big red button.
you
Well,
feel it pressing it?
I'm thinking about it.
Oh,
That'd be too
also,
risky. I really need
keep
my
in
money right now, but it would be great to steal $4 from Alex.
keep in mind the big red button does require you to draw and look at a card from the top, but you do have to shuffle it beforehand. So even though Broken Mineral Analyzer lets you
Right.
stack the deck in your favor, it doesn't actually matter for big red button.
That's a good call out. This is super tough. I feel like I want to use the dog, but I'm just so money hungry. It's not super helpful right now. But if I get rid of it, I'm basically like gonna have no. I'm gonna have so many wasted workers, which doesn't feel very good. I feel like I want BMA, but I don't know if it makes sense in this game. I also could use the dog on 80's training video, which might be smart. I feel like that's the smart play here, and then just not get BMA at all. Ugh, that's so sad. All right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use Phil's ability, discard these guys, these guy,
Farewell.
and I get a free refresh. Oh, creative
Ooh.
accounting, my favorite card. Oh no.
Ooh.
Actually, creative accounting's kind of perfect for this engine. Oh yeah. Oh,
Would be kind of annoying.
Sleazy's so good. Hmm.
Hmm.
All right, so let me tell you what these guys do. So creative accounting makes it so Alex has to pay $1. It's everybody else, but only Alex is my competitor right now. So everybody has to pay $1 for every widget I sell at retail. And since it also upgrades retail, I would be charging him $2 just to run my engine this round. I don't get the money, it goes to the bank, but still, that little chip is really helpful. And then Sleazy
Creative
allows me to swap a card with Alex, like my big red button for his nice mechanical engineer there, which would also be really good.
And also, even though Joe doesn't have that card right now, creative accounting does benefit from spit and prayers, which does increase the capacity. So if you slap a couple of
Oh,
capacity upgrades on creative accounting, you can really drain your competitors while it's dry.
I could also use Sleazy to swap Canary and its upgraded state and steal that labor control from Alex. Plus, ooh, man, there's so many options right now.
Are you willing to pay me the dog for it though?
Dog's pretty good. Like that would almost be a worthwhile swap. But you've invested a lot. That's a $12 investment for a $4 one. It does feel like a nice exchange of value.
Oh, she's been good to me.
This is tough. This is tough. Everybody on stream is like, get it together, guys. But yeah, I think Sleazy is probably the better card. But I'd have to use him immediately, and uh, I think maybe I stick with the dog here. Or you know what? There's no way creative accounting is the smart choice here, but I didn't say I was smart. I'm getting creative accounting.
All right, takes you down to
It
zero.
takes me down to 0, and then we run this engine. It makes me $40, and Alex pays $2. Suck it.
Ah, ah. All right, down to 33 for me.
And then my labor cost is $8. I have to pay for Jimmy, who's still watching TV. Dang it, Jimmy. All right, and that is the
All right,
end of Q2. And we move to
I'm
Q3.
still $1 ahead, but Joe does have a fully built engine, which is a little scary.
Plus, my engine is like very toxic, which is awesome.
All right.
Alrighty. So we're gonna
All
go ahead
right.
and refresh the labor market.
Hmm.
Oh wait, just the 4. Okay.
Yep, just the four.
All right, Alex. Oh, I have to bid first, but I know Alex is gonna win the bid, so I just bid 0.
Hmm. Yeah, I might as well bid one,
All
which
right.
means that I'm going to be able to hire at zero.
But I
This
also
might be
know
my
that we both have extra workers, so I think the chances of him hiring too many here is a little bit low. But there's also a lot of really high worker requirement cards. But I do have Phil, which means I'm probably gonna refresh. So,
right. This might be my last turn being able to use Canary's ability, so
mm-hmm.
we'll see. Joe might decide to repay the favor in Q4 and deny me from workers, so I might want to stock up, even if it does mean paying them a little bit of extra wages. So I'm gonna go ahead and what's a reasonable number of workers? Hmm. It's either gonna be two or three. Just to put a little bit more pressure on Joe, I'm gonna pick up 3. You can have the 1.
All right. Jimmy needs a friend. They're watching Hawaii 5-0 right now.
Yeah, little Jimmy and Johnny on the couch.
All right.
Meanwhile, these five guys in here are busy cooking up burgers and
Yeah, well,
fries.
you got like half a you got half your business in the break room right now.
We're just hanging out.
Oh
I'm gonna
boy.
work the first chance I get.
Okay. I think I want to use my free refresh here. To be honest, these cards are good, but I have malicious intent, and I think I can do better. So I'm gonna go ahead and refresh here. Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, malicious intent indeed. That pizza parties would be great for Alex. So there's no universe where he gets that card. um,
Just for context, pizza parties means that when you sell this card, you don't have to pay any labor or wages this turn.
right.
So it's really
So
valuable if you have a lot of people on staff.
yeah, if Alex sold that card, he would literally save $10 right now, which is gonna definitely be a pretty significant amount. So
$11.
11. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he wants that card very bad. No, 10, right? You have. Oh no, yeah, 11. Okay. Hmm. There's no universe I let him take pizza parties. Coffee shop would be pretty good right about now. Um.
You do have $32 to throw around, which is a decent amount.
hmm. I think I'm gonna sell Phil. You've definitely.
Goodbye.
He's done some good work for me. So I get $6, and then I buy pizza parties, which costs 8. So I'm down to 30. Um. Hmm. I should probably upgrade here. It's probably time to make money.
Coffee shop is a pretty nice card, but it does cost 4 workers, which you might be a little bit short of.
Yeah, I don't have. He would definitely probably buy it in this position. I,
Definitely probably is a great idiom.
I think I refreshed here actually.
All right, have at it.
I discard these guys. Steve.
Ooh, Steve,
Ooh, self checkout counter. Ah,
junior
even.
manager.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you can staff self-checkout counter. You'd think the self-checkout counter wouldn't require any labor, but it does break down a lot.
Mm. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Selling creative accounting.
Oh, thank goodness.
I was hoping that the sloth would show up, which allowed me to double its effect, but it didn't. So I'm selling creative accounting. I'm also discarding the dog, so I don't get money for
Ooh.
selling him. And then I am going to buy, um, I'm going to buy adding a coffee shop. So
Oh,
I get to buy it for half off, so it's only going to cost me $8. So I'm at $25. And
interesting.
now I'm able to staff it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have one more guy on pizza parties. So my engine is fully staffed.
Very
My
nice.
workers are all put to work, but I have some gaps because I have 2 extra capacity and I need 1 raw material, which luckily will only cost me 3. So I'm gonna buy that, and then I need 2 finished goods, which actually can't afford both. But that's okay. I'll just buy one for 14, and that will bring me to $8 and change. And I'll run my engine, and I sell 3 finished goods for $60. Ah. And then my labor cost is so I'm at 68, and my labor cost is $9, which takes me down to 79 or 59.
All right. Now, now that it's my turn, I really am regretting not hiring that very last worker and letting Joe have it.
Oh
Because
no, because you could have
Not
gone.
only would Joe have not been able to pull off that stunt, I was thinking of picking up Junior Manager and self-checkout counter, but unfortunately, them combined would have cost me six additional workers, and I only have five
That's the
additional.
thing about
Plus, they would have
workers
a
is like, oh, it only costs you an extra dollar, and then you like don't hire it, but you need workers to grow, and now you're in a tight
plus,
spot.
I have $33, which would have mean I would have had exactly one extra dollar to spare.
Oh my gosh, it would have been
Uh,
perfect.
what a shame, what a shame. But alas, I will make the most of what I have, so I am going to pick up Junior Manager. Welcome to the team.
Hmm.
Baby formulas in the water cooler. So that's going to leave me at 21, I believe. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just go ahead and staff up Junior Manager with his staff of au pairs and nannies.
He's a baby. He needs a lot of attention.
Right. Okay. So I know that as a tier 4 card, self-checkout counter is actually the tier 4 card that requires the least amount of labor.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no world where I get a tier 4 retail card that I can staff up this turn. My
Mm.
best bet, realistically, is to hope for a tier 3 card, which I'm just going to uh, take a look at the deck for now, just to see what's in it, because it is, after all, public information.
There's 48 cards in the deck, which means we're past halfway. So there's definitely some, yeah, there's definitely enough information to start making some educated guesses here.
Right. So in the discard pile, you can't see it on Joe's screen, but I can see that Marketing Guru is in the discard. I can see the 80s training videos in the discard, which I wouldn't have been able to get anyway. And Cutie at the checkout counter is in the discard, which means that there are still options for me in the deck. So even though it is Q3, I do think it behooves me to pull a refresh. All right,
Nice.
come on. Gotta be in here somewhere.
Honestly, any green card would be better than none at this point.
It would. All right.
Oh
Good. The
no!
captain's back. Guess who's back? All right.
This is terrible. This is the worst thing ever.
Oh,
My day
oh
is
yes.
ruined. My disappointment is immeasurable. My day is ruined.
All right. Creative accounting is switching sides.
I
He's
hate
joining
this.
me. All right.
uh,
I could dig further, but I think I might just go ahead and oh, I do pay $12, which takes me down to 6, which unfortunately is one short of being able to pick up a part.
mm-hmm.
Is unfortunate. Ah, well, it's always $1. I'm $1 short every time.
Dollar short a day late.
Yep. Fortunately, creative accounting only requires one worker, so I don't got to do any reshuffling. So with that, I think I'm just going to go ahead and run. So Canary's going to make 3, Mechanical Engineer is going to convert 3, Junior Manager is going to convert all 3 into finished goods, and Creative Accounting was going to sell 2 of them, which means I get a finished good left over, and Joe needs to pay $2.
Wah, wah.
Wah, wah, and I get $40 for selling those 2 widgets.
You know what's
Boom.
funny is you would have been able to buy that part if I hadn't had creative accounting that one round. Those $2
Right.
literally sacrificed. It's so that's the funny thing about this game is like a dollar makes a difference so often that like even a little chip can be really effective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is pretty tight. So mind your decisions. All right, so back to this. I'm going to sell this finished good for $14. That puts me at 60.
Hmm.
That puts me at 60. And I do have a crap ton of workers to oh, excuse me. I do have a lot of workers to pay.
11, right?
I actually have 11, yes. So that puts me at 49.
I'm gonna win on labor fees.
You very well might. And
All
you
right,
do have pizza parties.
all right, we're moving into Q4 here. Scrap these
Okay.
guys. Alex
First
gets
mover
the
get to me.
elephant. Let's see what's on the menu. Oh, there's the sloth.
There's the sloth.
All right, so the two cards that just showed
Ooh.
up are the tool belt and the sloth. The tool belt protects you from negative card effects. So if I pick that up, Alex could no longer rob me with his, tax fraud guy. If I get the sloth, it allows me to copy another card's abilities. So it's any card in play. So even though spit is attached to another card, it's still considered in play. So you could actually copy it in this position, or you could copy any of the other cards that have abilities. Gives a lot of options.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead And well, I still have Canary surprisingly enough, so I'm gonna bid $1.
Okay. Well, I'll this is interesting because I could definitely outbid a dollar here and guarantee some labor. Alex has one worker, which means he probably is willing to take a few more here. Um, is he gonna take all four is the question. I'm pretty tight on workers. I could definitely use a couple. Um, I feel like right now $4 is not that much, and he might just buy all of them just to guarantee. Oh, it's not even gonna cost him $4. It's totally free. So
It sure is.
it would literally just be a $4 payment at the end to make sure that I can't really upgrade anything. So I actually think that if I don't pay two here, I am going to not wind
What do you
up with
say?
any workers.
Willing to pay
Um,
$2 a worker?
I think I am, because am I gonna buy cards this turn? I think it's likely I do want to buy cards. So I'm gonna spend $2 and just get two workers, which takes me to 53.
All right.
They can play ping pong until I find a job for them.
I do have one extra worker, but I think I'm only gonna pick up one.
Oh, this is BS.
I do think two
uh,
workers is enough flexibility for me to do some stuff, so
ah, it's
I bid
terrible.
one and have Canary, so I pay nothing. And
uh,
any unhired workers at the end of labor bidding do not stick around, they go back into the
you
stockpile.
could have joined our team.
Nah, he's going back to the unemployment office.
Oh no. This is terrible. All right, go ahead, Alex.
All right, I'm gonna pull some shenanigans here.
Oh
So first of
no.
all, I'm gonna purchase mechanical engineer.
Oh, sell him?
Right. Oh, actually, could I take that back and pick up the last worker or no?
Yeah, because you haven't done anything yet. And
All right. You know what? I'll keep him around. So just in case. So I'm gonna go ahead and sell mechanical engineer, taking me to 57.
7?
I'm gonna purchase sloth for 4.
Darn it.
I'm gonna copy pizza parties.
Oh my god. I wanted the sloth so bad. Ugh.
I'm gonna copy pizza
Oh,
parties,
so your
which
labor is
means,
gonna be totally free this turn?
oh yeah, you know it.
This is terrible.
And well, actually, in order to do that, I need to sell slots. So that does mean I
Take
go
two
back up to
workers.
51.
Wait, did you, when you bought him, did you, oh, because you were at 57. What happened?
Yeah, I was at 57,
So you
sold
bought
mechanical
him for
engineer.
4, so you were at 53, right? Why were you at 49?
Um, I sold mechanical engineer, and then I pick up
Because
train sloth,
you
which
were at 49, so you sold him, you went up to 57. You bought Sloth for 4, which would have taken you to 53, and now you're selling Sloth, so you should be at 55, right?
my mental memory isn't that good, so I will just
I'll just give you the
trust you
free
on
money.
that.
I'm pretty sure we can check this. We can watch the replay and see if I just gave you $4, but I'm pretty sure you should
Yeah.
be at 55.
We can retroactively correct the outcome
Yeah, well,
depending
we'll
on if
post
there's
an
a $4
update.
margin.
Big ol' asterisk on this game.
All right. It's gonna be interesting if there's gonna be a victory by $4.
I definitely deserve to win. All right, go ahead.
Just to hedge my bets, I'm gonna pick up invisible tool belt.
Dang it.
Protect me from anything, including big red button.
Yeah,
You cannot hurt me with big red button anymore with tool belt.
this game sucks.
So that takes me down to 43.
Okay.
And even though this isn't the best engine in the history of
Oh,
engines,
you're just gonna run as is? What?
I just might. I just might.
Game is wild.
Creative accounting is fun, but I don't know whether there's going to be another good enough retail card in the stack.
It's true.
I
And they're
mean,
expensive
no,
to
it
refresh on the last quarter here.
really is. And I don't know if it's going to be exactly worth it.
Okay.
Ugh. All right. What I'm going to do, at least, is I'm going to spend $15 picking up 2 parts because Junior Manager still has that capacity. So
Okay.
43 minus 15 is 28.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and run my engine. Canary Generates 3, gives me an extra raw material. I'm going to hold on to that for now. 2 of them join up with the 2 that I bought, and Junior Manager turns all of those into 4 finished goods, and 2 of those are going to stay behind since Creative Accounting is going to sell 2 widgets for 40 bucks.
So I
And
got
Joe has to pay
51.
$2.
Yep, paid. Boo.
All right, so that puts me at 68. I'm going to sell this raw material for 3 and this finished good for 13.
27.
And
So you make
yep, so I
30.
get it
Nice.
30. And I don't have to pay labor costs this
Oh
order.
my gosh. That was a big turnaround. Okay. All
All
right.
right, over
Well,
to you.
I think the labor cost alone just saved your game. Ooh, suggestion box.
Got
Hmm.
some good resource cards.
All right, suggestion box is useless to me this turn, and I definitely have to sell pizza parties to get value out of it. Big red button is now kind of worthless. Should have risked it a little earlier. I have to pay for a refresh here, I think. I could pick up a sourcing card, but they're so cheap right now. Um,
Mm, discount mining card. Yeah, actually, it would be $1 cheaper just to pick it up from the raw materials market with discount mining card.
I'm just gonna refresh. Oh, it's four. Oh boy. All right.
Sure is.
About to spend a lot of money here. Free parking. Nope. Pizza parties again. Okay. Susie salesman. Ugh, this is
Ooh,
not helpful.
easy.
This is not helpful. I'm gonna actually have to refresh again. Oh boy. You know, I probably shouldn't be refreshing. I actually don't know why I'm doing this. Oh, ooh, the dog. Ooh,
Ooh, the
super
dog would
glue.
be really good for.
Change my
Oh
mind.
yeah.
I know what I'm
All
doing.
right, some options now.
Okay. So sell
I'm
pizza
back.
parties. I get $4. I am gonna buy. I'm not gonna think too hard about this. I'm gonna buy super glue, which costs 16, and that takes me to 31.
What's your labor?
It's fully staffed. So let's pick up a raw material here to make this a little easier. It takes me to 28. Um, so I could just buy 2 parts here for $17, or I could sell the big red button and use the dog. So
Hmm.
essentially spend $4, and I could probably get a pretty nice um, guy here. I'm gonna actually do that. So sell this for 4, use the money to buy the dog, immediately discard it, and now I need the best 2 labor red card,
Hmm.
which I think is probably in here. Ah,
It's gotta be somewhere.
why hello there, mechanical engineer. Good to
Oh,
see you
mechanical
again.
engineer,
Good to
you have
see you.
betrayed
Good
me.
to see you again. We missed you, buddy. And so now I only have to buy one of these for 8, which takes me to 12, and I need one more part or raw material
Raw
for
material.
4. Raw material for 4. That's gonna be down to $8. And
Oh
then
man.
everything gets consumed, and I make a clean $80. So I'm up to 88. And I also sold pizza parties this round, so I also don't pay labor.
Oh man.
And now
What a game.
we're gonna go ahead, tally up our engines, and see what the final score values were.
Yep. And just as a reminder, spin prayers doesn't count towards your final score.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, what'd you get?
120.
Ah, you beat me. Ah.
Ah, well played, well played. Looks like the $4 didn't make a difference at all.
There was an $8 margin. Ah, that was a good
Man,
battle.
that
Oh
was
man.
tight.
I think I reset too much in the last round. I probably should have just bought finished goods, especially since they were so cheap. I
Hmm.
probably could have just saved money on refreshes and just bought finished goods. It might have been okay. You really
Super glue.
you got saved by the sloth there. That was a good play. That really undid a lot of your labor costs there.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, to be fair, it did kind of put us on equal ground because both of us had pizza
That
parties.
was true. Whew.
Yeah.
I think
All right, how'd you do?
I was getting a little crazy with the effects there.
I
Uh,
mean, both of us had a really good smattering of effects that worked well with each other.
yeah.
None of us really went hard into effects or like powerful cards.
Oh, that was good. So that's what the executive experience looks like. As you can see, there's a lot of decisions you have to make based on like what you think the other person's going to do with the labor market, and then there's a lot of effects. And as you notice, like the cards are switching out a lot more because using these effects can be very helpful for each individual turn. So it turns the game into a lot more of a crazy back and forth battle. You combine that with the worker wars, where you're trying to get in the other person's head. It's a very crazy experience, which we call the executive experience. Oh, we should also see how we did as a business. So I was 112, so that makes me, I'm attracting venture capital. Very nice. I'm happy to
All
be
right,
on the top side of things.
and I got 120, which just scoots me up into market disruptor.
Oh, that's a good business.
All
On
right.
his way.
Yeah, turtlenecks and magazine covers is definitely quite a bit more difficult to achieve in executive experience, but it's definitely still doable.
Yeah, he was
What we
only
like to
$10
do,
away. You can
yeah,
absolutely, if you manage to make turtlenecks and magazine covers in the executive experience, you are a true master of widgets and digits, and you belong on the wall of widget winners.
yeah, what we like to say is that this is kind of also a yardstick of how well you're doing in terms of widgets and digits. So if you're in classic mode and you're already regularly hitting turtlenecks and magazine covers, why not try one of the expansions and put for a little bit more of a challenge?
Yeah. Now I know with Border and Battle, it's definitely possible to get to turtlenecks and magazine covers. Worker Wars alone, I think it's possible. That's really hard though.
Mm.
But no, it's definitely possible to do. So good luck, friends. Let's see what kind of entrepreneurs we can become. And with that, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank you, anybody who joined us. I don't think we were paying attention to chat, so I hope you didn't have questions because we did not answer them. But um, we'll be paying attention to Discord, so keep an eye out there and definitely join the community. We're excited to see people's opinions of the game as they get playing. All right, everybody, have a good night. Thanks for joining.